Resort Beats.
What down, family? It's your boy Street Newz Tv. Back at y'all with another Chicago Legends. And this episode is going to be about none other than Twista.
Thought of the day. You are not your physical body. Even though you got the senses giving you the illusion that you are not your physical body. You are your consciousness. And what's even more deeper than that, people think that their consciousness is projected into their body. Nah, homie. Your body is inside of your consciousness. Mind Power Monday.
Twista comes from that K-Town, GDs and Vice Lords. I'm not 110% sure what Twista's affiliation is, but like I said, I know he's known to shout out the GDs and the Vice Lords from K-Town. Twista has been a very, very important part of Chicago ever since I could remember. Twista was like our rap god back in the day. And honestly speaking, I feel as though a lot of the music that Twista put out back then could literally be considered as drill music, the things that he talked about. Now, the only thing that would separate what Twista rapped about back then and now is the fact that when it comes to drill music, with drill music, they're actually a lot of guys that are rapping in drill music, they're actually rapping about it and doing what they're rapping about. Versus back then, it was pretty much just like, you just trying to do everything you could to come up with the hottest bars. You see what I'm saying? Now, Twista is a legend outside of Chicago. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, when it comes to rap music, Twista is definitely a legend. He's been affiliated with the likes of Jay-Z. He's been affiliated with the likes of R. Kelly. He's been affiliated with the likes of Aaliyah, Left Eye, Brandy, P. Diddy, Busta Rhymes, Snoop Dogg. And Twista is actually one of the more respected artists coming out of Chicago on some music shit. Now, when it comes to his street affiliations and things of that nature and what he's done in the street, I have never heard, about nothing that Twista has done in the street as far as blowing at people or doing something to people. I doubt if Twista has any bodies, but when you're dealing with Chicago, you never know. Twista has always been top 5 when it came to rap, and that goes for artists from everywhere on a national scale. Why do I say that? Because I have never heard nobody in the rap game rap as fast as Twista raps, and you can actually understand what they're saying. I remember him and Bone Thugs had a slight beef, and what the beef was over is, people were trying to say that Twista took their style. Then you had some people on this side saying that, Bone took Twista style. I think that it was never really no real beef because at the end of the day, they have two different styles. Bone, they rap fast, but it's more of harmonizing. And not only that, you can barely understand what Bone Thugs and Harmony were saying back in the day. A lot of times you had to go and try to look up the lyrics to the songs because, you couldn't understand what they were saying. Versus Twista, his raps are precise and clear, and they also fast as hell. Now, we dealing with a dude that made the Guinness Book of World Records in 1992 for spitting like over 500 syllables in like 55 seconds or something like that. So this dude raps very, very, very fast. And like I said, it may just be a thing with me, being from Chicago and listening to his music for so long. But I know a lot of Chicagoans that can actually listen to Twista and break Twista's words down without having to, go see what the lyrics were or look up or Google the lyrics and things of that nature. Because, we so used to his music, but then again, like I said, when Twista spits, his words are very precise. Now, Twista got into a disagreement. I'm not sure what it was about, but I heard that Bump J was supposed to open up for Twista. And Twista, kind of like told Bump J that, Bump J was going to open up. And then afterwards, last minute, Twista switched it up on him and had one of the other guys open up. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm not 110% sure on why him and Bump ended up getting into it, but that's one of the stories that I heard. Now, I seen an interview that Bump J had where he said that Twista got robbed, and later on, Twista went to court and identified the guy that supposedly had robbed him. But outside of that, Twista's track record is clean. I know for a fact that a lot of people on the West Side love Twista, as do I. Twista was one of the first ones to, come out rapping and not out of Chicago. And not only that, he was definitely the first one that was going as hard as he was going when it came to the chop rap. A lot of people call it chopper style. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of different definitions that people use for the way that Twista rap. But if you can remember, if you from Chicago, you definitely remember when he was tongue twister and he would rap the same exact way. His lyrics were a lot different, you know what I'm saying? They didn't talk about as much killing and things of that nature, but Twista has always had it. And this has been like since the late 80s, early 90s. I know when I first heard Twista had been out for a couple of years, or when I could remember hearing Twista, I had to be like anywhere from 6 to 8. And my brother, he was real big on Twista, which at the time he had to be like 10 or 11. So it's like, man, when I heard Twista, I knew he was something special. And ever since the first time I heard Twista, I started definitely bumping Twista and listening to Twista. Now, mind you, like I said, this was before the the Do or Die and, the Speeding Out Mobsters and things of that nature. So Twista has been doing this for a long time, probably longer than anybody in Chicago. Don't quote me on that, but he definitely started off in like no less than the late 80s. Twista has been one of the ones that has been able to modernize with the times also. Like a lot of people, if you notice, they flows get weak after a while because they run out of shit to say. Or they can't continue to rap because the times are changing when it comes to rap. You got a lot of rappers out here like NBA Youngboy, NLE Chopper, Kodak Black, rappers like this, Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi. You got a lot of rappers like this now. And some of them are, kind of, saying shit. Some of them got pretty decent music, but most of them ain't talking about nothing. So, the era that Twista comes from, he comes from an era where you had to be lyrical. Because if you wasn't lyrical, then, you wouldn't get as much shine. You would get talked about. It was a lot of battles that went on back in the day with these rappers. It was a whole lot of battles that went on back in the day. And niggas had arsenal. Niggas had an arsenal of words. Niggas was reading. Niggas was in dictionaries, memorizing words. Versus now, it's like it's no lyric. It's like lyrically, it's like that's damn near, you know what I'm saying, a thing of the past. But what's crazy is, back in the day, this is what niggas loved and this is what niggas listened to. Tupac was one of the only rappers that, wasn't as lyrical. He just had a hell of a story to tell, and he was a poet. But outside of that, most of the rappers that you heard back then, they were very lyrical because, like I said, they knew for a fact that if they didn't come on with it, man, they would be overshadowed by the rappers that, was doing their thing and, coming on with it. there was no such thing as back in the day as you getting a deal and couldn't rap. Like, you had to know how to rap back in the day. Versus just getting on a tight beat and just shaking your ass and, you know what I'm saying? Then, oh, we gonna put you up there and call you the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just didn't fly back then, and it flies now. And I feel like Twista has been one of the ones that, you know, throughout all these years, 20, probably 30-some years, Twista has kept that same flow, and he has, you know, been able to still make good music. Twista's music right now, I just heard some of his newest music, and Twista's music right now is definitely outdoing a lot of guys' music that are out right now. So that just goes to show you and give you some type of look on how the rap game has changed drastically. I think that what caused Twista to slow down a little bit is, one, old age. You know, like I said, Twista been doing this for going on. If it hasn't been 30 years, it's definitely going on 30 years. He had a friend / bodyguard that he was real cool with, and this guy ended up getting murdered on some gruesome shit. He ended up getting shot. He ended up getting his throat slit, and he also ended up getting burned up. And after this happened, Twista took it very hard. I seen a video or an interview that he did with Vlad TV. He talked about how the murder was kind of like, it wasn't nothing new to him. Like, he was already used to violence. If you come from Chicago and you come from that gangbanging culture, I'm not going to say that you necessarily had to be a gangbanger to see violence. But if you come from Chicago and you come from that gangbanging culture, then you've definitely seen more than enough violence for probably everybody. But what Twista was saying was, that murder, when that happened to his friend, that was pretty much like the last straw. And that's when he started looking at Chicago like, you know what? Let me get the fuck out of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot going on in Chicago, and it always has been a lot going on in Chicago. A lot of rappers have, you know, been getting robbed since they started rapping in Chicago. And not only just rappers, it's been a lot of entertainers, period. I remember one time where I heard about Antoine Walker being tied up and robbed. Actually, I heard about a couple times where Antoine Walker has gotten robbed. So, you know, Chicago is really not the place for people that's trying to succeed. Now, unless you're going to be out here in the streets doing this and doing that, or you got guys out here in the streets that's going to do this and do that to protect what you got going on, or protect your brand, or protect your name, then, my best advice is to leave Chicago anyway. But you damn sure don't need to be walking around Chicago with no security and things of that nature, like niggas won't do nothing to you. Because wherever you got love at, believe me, bro, you got hate, jealousy, and envy that stands behind that. I just wish Twista the best of luck. Shout out to Twista. Keep doing what you doing, OG, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep keeping it real like you've been keeping it real, dog. And niggas like me gonna make sure that your name stays alive. Outside of whatever Twista did, his music is still second to none. When it comes to the chopper style, not only that, Twista is an OG in the game, so he definitely deserves respect. Some of the people that Twista has been linked with are immortals. I feel like Twista is an immortal himself. What is an immortal? An immortal is someone that can't die. And a lot of people that Twista has been linked with can't die. Well, why would you say somebody can't die, Street Newz TV? What I mean by that is, when they die physically, their spirit will continue to live on, because their spirit will continue to live on through us because of the things that they've accomplished while they were on earth. Example, Tupac, he's an immortal. Biggie, he's an immortal. Jay-Z, he's an immortal. You see what I'm saying? Even though Jay-Z's not dead, he's definitely immortal. His name will never be forgotten. Twista has been in a company with guys like this since his start, and he is one of these immortals. It's your boy SN TV. I'm out.
Just to be honest, I'm smoking on chronic while speaking Ebonics, finesse 100. Focus on making some money, get on the track and go dummy. Bitches a rap like a mummy, I'm a human tsunami. Shoot up your block with a Tommy, as soon as they see me they running. Niggas they know how I'm coming, hop out the car and I'm dumping. Bagging and flipping, no fumble, paper I washing, no tumble. I am so humble, I am so ready to rumble. Swing at your face and you stumble. Nigga I do what I wanna, just to be honest. Nigga I do what I wanna, just to be honest. Just to be honest, nigga I do what I wanna, just to be honest. Just to be honest.